Hello friends and welcome to YouTube channel Freedom Tech, and in this session what we are going to learn. In this session we are going to configure this OLED display. Okay, as you can see, this is what our OLED display, and we are going to configure this OLED display with our Raspberry Pi 4 Raspbian OS Bullseye 64-bit version. Okay, so let's get started. Now we are going to move on our desktop. Okay, so friends, we are now on our desktop Raspbian OS Bullseye 64-bit version. Okay, same practical or same tutorial for configuring OLED display on Raspbian OS Bullseye 32-bit version. Same tutorial. Okay, so first we need to clone our repository. So Raspbian Bullseye OLED. This is what our repository. Go to the code, copy link, minimize browser, and we are going to run the command sudo git clone and paste link as we always do. Okay, so Raspbian OS Bullseye OLED, clear the screen. If I run the ls command, as you can see, this is what our repository. So we need to first change the owner. So sudo chown space hyphen capital R pi shift colon pi, and our folder name is, hit enter, Raspbian Bullseye OLED. Now we need to go inside the folder, but remember one thing, first we need to connect our display with the Raspberry Pi 4. Okay, so I have mentioned the connectivity and GPIO pins. So if we go inside the file manager, and this is what our folder, as you can see, display PNG, right click, image viewer, and this is what our basically display pins. Okay, let me make a zoom in. So OLED display has 1, 2, 3, 4 pins: SDA, SCL, and power and ground pin. Okay, so then I have also here our Raspberry Pi 4 GPIO pins layout. Okay, as you can see, so this is what our display pins, and this is what our Raspberry Pi 4 GPIO pins. Okay, so we are going to make like this way. Okay, so display SDA pin we are going to connect with GPIO 2 pin number 3. Okay, so GPIO 2 pin number 3, this is what our GPIO 2, as you can see, SDA. So display SDA we are going to connect with the Raspberry Pi 4 physical number 3 and GPIO 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, this is what the physical number 3, as you can see. So we need to connect display SDA pin with Raspberry Pi 4 physical pin number 3. Okay, then SCL we are going to connect with Raspberry Pi 4 physical pin number 5. So physical pin number 5 is here, as you can see, SCL, GPIO 3, SCL. So SDA we are going to connect with pin number 3, physical pin number 3. SCL we are going to connect with physical pin number 5. Then VCC means the power pin, we are going to connect a VCC pin with Raspberry Pi 4 pin number 1, which is charged with 3 volt. Okay, as you can see, we don't want to connect display with 5 volt. Okay, so we want to connect our OLED display with 3 volts. So 3 volt pin is physical pin number 1, the first pin 1. Okay, then ground we are going to connect with pin number 6, or maybe you can connect with pin number 14 also, because the 6 and 14 also same the ground pins. Okay, so I am going to again explain it. SDA pin we are going to connect with Raspberry Pi 4 physical pin number 3. SCL pin we are going to connect with Raspberry Pi 4 physical number pin number 5. Then power VCC pin we are going to connect with Raspberry Pi 4 3 volt pin, which is the first one pin, and ground you are going to connect with either pin number 14. Okay, which is the ground pin. Where is 14? Here it is a 14, which is the ground pin, or you can also connect with the pin number 6, which is also ground pin. So this is how you need to first connect the display with the Raspberry Pi 4. That's it. So I have already connect the display. Now simple, we need to enable the I2C interface. Simply we need to open our terminal, run the command sudo raspi-config, hit enter. Then third one option, which is the interface option, simply hit enter. Then I5 option, as you can see, stands for the I2C enable display. Okay, I2C. So simply hit enter. then we need to come to the yes, hit enter, and as you can see the ARM I2C interface is now enabled. Simply hit enter, press the tab button, come to the finish, and here we need to reboot our Raspberry Pi 4. Okay, I already enabled the I2C interface and I also already reboot the Raspberry Pi 4. Okay, so after enabling I2C interface, we need to reboot our Raspberry Pi 4. So sudo init6, okay, this is what the command, and just hit enter, it will reboot our Raspberry Pi 4. Okay, we need to install the package, so we need to go inside our folder, which is the Raspbian Bullseye OLED, hit enter. If I run ls command, as you can see I have mentioned here install.sh, so sudo chmod 775 and install.sh. okay, it will give the full permission. Now sudo dot slash install.sh, hit enter, it will install the packages. Also it will show you that we have successfully connect our display. As you can see, if you see this kind of message, it means we have successfully connect our display with the Raspberry Pi 4. Then clear the screen, and if I run the ls command, this is what our Python script. So simply we need to run the command sudo python3 and stats.py, hit enter. So as you can see, there is no error, means we are successfully show our IP address, our memory, our temperature, and our CPU load on our OLED display. Okay, so this is how we can start our display. Now how to start the display at first boot? Simply what we want to do, where we are now, in our Raspbian Bullseye OLED folder. So if I run the pwd command, this will show us full path of our folder. As you can see, this is what our full path, and what is the file name of our Python script? So our Python script name is stats.py. This is what our Python script name. So we need to mention full path, and we need to mention the Python file name inside /etc/rc.local. okay, so sudo nano /etc/rc.local, hit enter, and as you can see here, I have mentioned the path. Let me make a more zoom in, okay, and like this one. So here it is. As you can see, I have mentioned after fi I have mentioned sudo python3, and this is what our full path, where we have our stats.py Python file, which is our basically display file. Okay, so /home/py Raspbian Bullseye OLED, and then our Python file name. Okay, so this is how we need to mention the path. Then Control X, Y, enter and save. Then if you reboot your machine, you have your display automatic on, and you have our IP address, the temperature of your Raspberry Pi 4, the disk uses and CPU load on your OLED display. Okay, so this is how you can configure the OLED display with the Raspbian Bullseye 64-bit version, and the same steps for the 32-bit version. Okay, so I hope you will learn something from this video. We'll meet our next video. Till then, thank you, take care, and bye bye.